Untapped, Miami. Hey you guys, this is Untapped Miami. I am Mooney Holmes and this is my co-host,
Misfit.
and we have an extraordinary guy here. His name is Danny Agnew. He's the owner, the CEO.
Member.
He's the
Yeah.
member of Roots
Yeah.
Collective,
Yeah.
doing big things in the community. Before we start the interview, I want to know, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I was born and raised in Chicago. I've been rocking out in Miami for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
It was mandatory that I came because while I was in Chicago, I grew up on the South Side. Poor mother, poor father. Kind of delved into crime early on.
Yeah.
And so I acquired 2 felonies while I was there. And they have in Chicago the 3-strike rule. So it doesn't matter if you're guilty of a crime, but if you say you're with a friend and they get caught with some drugs,
Yeah.
they gonna put it on me, and I would have life in jail.
Wow.
So knowing that and kind of realizing how easy it is to get caught in the trap, I moved to North Carolina for a small period. It was way too slow for me. It's the South, so there wasn't any really jobs for black felons. And so I was fortunate enough to visit Miami and link up with some really, really dope individuals. We actually started our organization called the Dream Defenders
Okay.
in 2012 around the killing of Trayvon Martin.
Okay.
And so I came for the action. We did a 3-day march over, I think it was about 40 miles. And the reason why it was mandatory that we started Dream Defenders was there was a 46-day gap between the killing of Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman getting arrested.
Mhm.
Our group was the catalyst for that action to take place because we shut down the police station in Sanford,
Okay.
demanded a meeting with the special prosecutor, and that next morning, George
I
Zimmerman
remember
got
that.
arrested. Yes,
I
sir.
remember that.
So soon after that, 2 months later, I came back down. I was able to live with a close friend of mine. He's actually from Palestine, so that's where the Free Palestine movement came into place. And so from there, I was grinding out, worked at a couple of jobs here and there. Didn't really work out for me. And then I registered to the Art Institute in Miami. I was there for about 3 months. Realized that they was going to charge me $81,000 in
Jesus.
tuition. So I learned a little bit of skills, and then I quit. Still owe that tab. I don't know if they're gonna get it. But yeah. So after that, I started working with a clothing a printing company. He was a white Jewish guy, and so they're really, really strict about small petty money. So
Yeah.
a dollar, they got, I need my dollar.
Yeah.
And so early on when I worked there, I made it a mission to learn the ropes, learn how to run a business, and then 2 months later I started my own, and then I've been rocking out ever since.
Wow. Congratulations. Okay, I have a question. What inspired you guys to come up with the Roots Collective idea?
Yeah, so I mentioned Dream Defenders, and with Dream Defenders, there's this thing called the nonprofit industrial complex. And what that basically means is that there are certain stipulations and quotas that you have to reach in order to keep funding happening for your organization. And so in 2013, mid 2013, there was a program that we did. It was called the Block is Ours program within Dream Defenders. And I was a quote unquote block leader. So not BLOCK, but BLOC. And basically that's a territory that you work in to try to register voters.
Okay.
And so while I was out there, first, let me throw that out there, I don't really care too much about voting for people who don't represent the community. That's the one.
Okay.
And then so what I did it because I knew that in order to have some voice within our community, we need to have people registered.
Yeah.
And so I was working out in Liberty City because Liberty City kind of reminds me of how the part of Chicago that I came from, so I can identify with it.
I understand.
So I was going out there every day, and I think we needed like 200 signatures every week. And the messed up part about it was I would go into the community, we would have conversations with these families, they would invite us in to eat and talk and just chill, kick it, and they was really engaged. But when you're organizing, you have a quota to meet, they get upset. The organizations get upset when you're having 5 signatures a day because you're having hour-long conversations rather than having 40 signatures just because you want to say, look, this is the goal and I'm out. And so it could have put a bad taste in my mouth. And so along the way, I met a few individuals who were dope. They were either from the hood, working in the hood, had businesses in the hood. And so one of them was Munch. I met him early on while I was doing the work, the Block is Ours work.
Shout out to Munch.
Shout out to Munch, Mayor of Liberty City.
Mayor of Liberty City.
And so what happened was I wanted to do something for the people who I had been building with for that 4-month span. And so initially I called Munch, Isaiah, which is Miami Gardens mayor, Caroline, she works over at the Cultural Center as well, Omar Desiree, his mother is actually the go-to person in Little Haiti, Miami. She is the person who everyone knows throughout the entire city. So I called all these folks together because I'm like, yo, we're young, we know how to talk to the community, we're doing good work, so let's do an event.
Okay.
So that first meeting that we had together turned into us planning 6 events. Going through like next year all the way to this year. And so so we started rocking out. I think the first event we did it over at the Tacosi Center. And it was the Black Family Day. And what we identified when we were working out in the community was that people needed jobs, people needed food, and people needed some other resources. They needed something to come to, food and resources. And so what we did was we hosted the event to try to address some of these problems that we see in our community. So we linked up with somebody. We had 100 free 30-day bus cards that we gave out to people because our belief was, okay, if you need a job and you don't have any money, then you got to have transportation. So that was like the solution for that. We gave like soul food to like 200 people for the free. So we ate good. It wasn't a hot dog, hamburgers type stuff.
Yeah.
We had a basketball tournament because we know people hooping in the hood. They right there at the park all the time. So we had a basketball tournament where we gave cash prize or whatever. We gave out free books because, education is important. Mm-hmm. And so the event went well. We had about 350 people turn up. And then right after that, we did the turkey drive where we fed, I think, 30 families. I was in Brazil, actually, so they rocked out and just, killed it. Yeah, they took over that. And then we wanted to start being more inclusive, so we had a multicultural event over at the Little Haiti Cultural Center. And we invited the Latino community, the Haitian community, and the African American community. And so we had music,
y'all
food.
Doing major things.
Yeah, we just doing it. And so it was dope, but we had to regroup because it was like after the events are over, people got to go home to the same, excuse my language, effed up situation.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we really address the true problems of our community and also offer solutions and resources at the same time? Not just to have. We can't have as a people. And so one unique and important thing that I do want to mention is that any place that we go to, most of the time we get whatever facilities for free. The reason being is because, so I know how to organize people.
Yeah.
And so how we work with it is, if the representatives of these communities say you're for the community, then why are you charging the community group to offer resources to the community? And so we have like Miami Gardens, we have Mayor Gilbert in our back pocket. We got Keon Hardiman for the District 5. Mm-hmm. So anybody who we touch, we have our reach and we're expanding because people know when we come, it's from the soul and it's not just to profit off of this. And so the last event we just recently had, and I'll stop talking because I'm pretty sure you're gonna question.
Answering most of them.
So the last event last month, we had Black Friday. Black Friday, $1.1 trillion leave the black community and never come back.
Yeah.
Every year. Every single year. And so we was like, how are we going to address this problem and try to put some of these resources back in the hood? So the idea came up that we're going to start doing a black marketplace. So we called it the Black Friday Marketplace. We hosted it over at the Betty T. Ferguson Recreational Complex. They wanted me to say that.
Yeah,
all
the
that.
full name.
Yeah. And so it was scary because we know that people have been broke all year round.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got Walmart trying to sell you a TV that was $2,000 for $300, we know how easy that is for people to flock to the joints. And so what was unique about it was we were like, how are we gonna make this something that folks will hear about, and also they're gonna, like, Walmart is gonna be affected.
Yeah.
And so we linked up with a group called Our Walmart. And they had been doing a hunger strike from the 15th of November, and they were going to end it on November 27th, because they were demanding $15 minimum wage for their workers. They're doing it's a nationwide campaign. And so what was unique was that they did an action at the Walmart that was down the street from Betty T's Ferguson. And when they got done with the action, they came to the park and they broke their fast from food that we provided for them for free. And so it showed one, solidarity, and then it also showed how when we work together as a community, how things can happen.
Yeah.
Another really important aspect is we all know how many of our brothers and sisters are getting killed in the streets every day. Every day, all day. And so most individuals in the community who are from the streets don't really like police. And so how would it look for a group that's centered around blackness and this beauty of black to have the police governing our events?
Yeah.
So how we came up with a solution was that we hooked up with the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
They have a chain called the Fruit of Islam, and that's who does the security for the Nation of Islam. And so we called them, and then they secured our event, and we had no police there. So it was like the idea behind the marketplace is not only to create economic sustainability, but also to create an environment where people start to trust that we can handle this shit on our own. And so
you're doing a perfect job.
we trying. It's a lot of work because. So the first event went well. We had 35 vendors. I think about 250 people came out. It was really dope. And now people are excited, but they had to see it happen first. Before they was faithful in it. But I mean, I know that I grew up in a place where you're taught not to trust because it's easy to get sidetracked.
Yeah, it is.
And so what came from that was now every month we're going to have a marketplace. And we're going to expand. People want us in This is Danny Agnew with the Roots Collective and Dream Defenders. You are now tuned in to Untapped Miami.
What's up, you guys? This is Untapped Miami. I am Mooney Holmes, and this is my co-host, Miss Fit. And here we have the incredible Roots Collective. I will have each one of them introduce themselves one by one and what they do.
All right, Danny Agnew, born and raised in Chicago, been rocking out in Miami for a few years now. And I am a part of the collective, a visionary to starting it.
Isaiah Thomas, part of the collective from Miami. I'm just here. Play my role.
My name is Carter. I recently joined Roots Collective.
Manuel, just joined a few months ago, born in Miami, live in Broward. Roots Radio, we got coming through tomorrow. Check it out, 18:04 to 6:04 p.m. And it's gonna be dope.
How y'all doing? My name is Francois Alexander. Community organizer, Roots Collective. Been with the collective since about a year now, close to a year. We're just rocking out.
Munch, Roots Collective, all like mine. That's about it.
Okay, our inspired you all to come up with this idea of Roots Collective, and what does it represent in the community?
Initially the reason why we started, and I spoke about it briefly the last time, but basically the reason why we started is because all of us either live or work in the community or have businesses within the community. And I was a part of the organizing world, the nonprofit industrial complex, and we did a campaign that was trying to galvanize the people, but the way that they were going about doing it, I wasn't really about it. And so coming out of one of the campaigns that we had, I had met most of the individuals who are in the collective now through either doing community work, doing events, speaking engagements, and we all met. And once we talked, we understood how each of us really cared about the people. And so from there, we all sat down, we got in a group text, and we all sat down because we wanted to figure out how we could pull all of the people, all the resources together that we had built and see where it went. And so we called a meeting at our office that was on Biscayne at the time. And from that event, from that meeting that we had, we wanted to host one event that was geared towards the community. Because we know we got under-education, unemployment, poverty, lack of transportation. And so the idea was to offer resources to the community to help out a bit. With that first meeting, we came up with 6 events in a row, and throughout Miami. So our focus groups, areas were Overtown, Liberty City, Little Haiti, Opelika, and Miami Gardens. Because when we identified our work, we knew that these people were the most oppressed.
Yeah.
And so with that first meeting, I don't know because my clothing at first was just called Roots. And then because we were a group, we called it Roots Collective. So it started from there. Yeah, and we was rocking out, and we started because we wanted to give, but then we also realized later on that giving can only go so far, and we have to kind of shake up the system and how it runs in order to really affect change in people's lives. And so that's why with all the moves that we make now, we're focused on economics. Because unfortunately, the world that we live in right now runs off capital. And so the only way to offset some of the problems that we see in our communities is to kind of galvanize our dollar in order to shake it up a bit. That's my piece.
Anybody else have anything to add on?
I would like to say we all genuinely care about our community. So it was a mutual understanding of coming together and trying to make a difference. And we felt like we can attack this beast from a different angle. And that angle being going inside these communities and getting the people that we will say the misfits or people that everyone don't care about and bringing them together. So make some type of action.
Okay, our next question is, how many members is a part of the team, and how do each of you contribute to Roots Collective collectively? So is this everybody, or?
There's some of us that's missing right now.
How you want to explain this?
Yeah.
Because I'll give it this. The core, we have about 8 members.
Okay.
And that's the people who continually meet, sit, plot, plan, strategize. That's the core. But if you talk about the depth that we have and the way, how far we stretch, yeah, we go far and wide. But the collective, the idea behind the collective is people just coming together, working on a goal, but in different avenues, different
So what are
facets.
each of y'all strong suits, like, who can start?
We'll start with lunch and just work around. That's how we do that.
Go.
That's the mayor of Liberty City right there.
Okay.
I let them say all that. But for me, it's more or less like I'm from here, so just knowing a lot of the history, a lot of the different policies and things from the back end, like just being a kid growing up watching it happen. We used to be in high school, some of the things like that used to happen, and I used to just be involved in it. So, and then at the same time, I went to school and my craft is media. So Anytime, we got an event, I'm there with the sound, trying to get artists together, different things of that nature. So, I just help around and just make moves in general, all around, like help with some, a little bit of everything, on the back end of everything. So, anywhere I'm at, I can kind of like help. If we need to go like certain places, like when we want to really get work done, like not really get work done, but like go to the grassroots. Grassroots is like, hey man, hit this spot, this is where we need to go to coordinate this, strategize a lot. So, but everybody, for the most part, put something together. Manny, you put together the Roots Radio. Like everybody come together with what they have and put it to the table and be like, this is what we got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever I'm doing with Peace in the Hood is like they support. You know what I'm saying? They come out. But at the same time, like when we do Black Marketplace, that's all Roots. That's everybody. Like we slide. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a movement as a collective. And collective. Cooperative economics, you know what I'm saying? Just living it, and doing it instead of just talking about it.
Yeah. And I've been watching you because, went to the same school, but I've been watching you for a long time, and I applaud you.
Yeah.
Because you have been doing a lot of positive things in the community.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that because we need that.
Yeah. Well, to add on to what Munch is saying, it's something that we all put together to do. So it's a body. At this point in time, like whichever idea we have, we all get together and do it. And all support each other in every aspect.
And I'm glad that it's unity within the group because a lot of times when groups come together, it's not unity. And
It's not gonna work.
it don't work.
Everybody put in one direction, everyone else. So.
But but when you have a base, and that's what the Roots is all about, like having to create a base where any ideas popped up, but it's supported.
Yeah.
It's supported. So that's what the collective is about. Supporting the idea, helping the brother flourish with the idea. Prime example is going back to Roots Radio. In our first episode coming out one.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, they don't cover what I was about to say with the radio.
Nah, we just ad-libbing here.
You got a plug. You know what I'm saying?
That is my contribution. I did go to school for broadcasting and everything. I went to school for film too, but them student loans kind of like scared me a little bit. So I was like, you know what, I ain't going to be a doctor or nothing. So like, I don't got to, really, I could just kind of like learn this on my own.
Yeah.
And basically, that's just, what I'm trying to contribute to it. Because like, they ain't really no like talk shows / podcast that's really focusing on the local issues down here. A lot of it is just more so like global issues. Like they want to talk about like DC or New York and everything, but like they don't really know about like the politicians and stuff in their area or the musicians in their area.
Yeah.
So like, and even the history, because like we got a really dope history in Miami.
Yeah.
So like, that's just what I'm trying to bring in. It's like we just have like a discussion for people to hear, and then they can learn something. And from learning something, they can just start to take some action and do what they gotta do.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would say I'm a community liaison. I'm from Miami. I know a lot of people in Miami, so I felt like Roots ambassador when I go back in the hood and they see me with a Roots shirt on, they're like, what the hell is that you got on? And I would be able to explain what Roots is, direct them to the social media where they see it. And they can follow the page on their own. They see, they doing something. It's not only a shirt. It's not only a name. And basically events, anytime we're ready to sit down and strategize and come up with an idea for an event, I'm there. So I'll just say my role is that community liaison, just to get back into it.
Yes, it's not.
Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do real quick, 'cause they are trying to downplay themselves.
Okay.
Cultural Center, 62nd. He's the man, okay? This guy here, he's the Haitian Connect. He's from Haiti, and he represents all day, every day for the Haitian community. E Boogie is the Connect. He's like you got the wall socket. He's the plug. He's connecting everything together. He's gonna speak because he's the youngest member right now of the collective, and he has his own background story. So I'm gonna have you give your school, your age, and what you've been doing. Just a little bit of it.
All right now.
Yeah.
Feel like the spotlight.
My name is Jakari again. I go to Central.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we definitely.
I'm in a tent. I got caught up in something. Right, I got going deeper.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to go.
I got caught up. I'm on house arrest. I'm chilling. We surviving.
At least you're still trying to get something positive. That's all that matters.
Don't stick to the past, but stick to the future. Stay on track.
Okay, about the Roots Online Marketplace, I have a question about that. What is the creative process of designing your clothing?
So the background behind it all is to make sure that we're creating clothing that has a message. That's the core. So initially, when I first started Roots Clothing, it was me just pushing out shit that just talked about stuff.
Yeah.
So whether it be from melanin, which is the pigment in our skin that makes us the color we are, to Up You Mighty Race, which is like Marcus Garvey, he's known for that phrase. And so it was me just putting the things in my head on the clothing. Now what we're getting into is we know that we have a young popping culture that people want to get in tune. They're conscious, they know what's going on, but they want to feel good with the clothing that they wear. And so now what we're doing, we're trying to get into a creative process where it's not just me or Omar, he couldn't make it, but it's not just us creating what's in our brain, but also collaborating with the community to figure out what people want to wear. So next year, I literally today just took everything off the site. We had over 250 designs on the site, but I took it all down so that we can start to create pieces that reflect the movement that's going on in the world, not just in the country, but out of the country as well. So yeah, it's always going to be creative because we're always going to have youth being able to instill in us some new fire.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay, so what is your meaning behind Melanin Monday?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw that to E because E actually
Danny started it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of like ran with it. It was a dope idea. Like the way I do it is like I just try to like find as much positive black pictures globally. You know what I'm saying? Like each Monday I'll focus on like something. So let's say like last Monday I was like throwing pictures of Haiti and the revolution and all that. Another Monday I'll show like East African pictures. Another Monday I show West African pictures. I show another Monday like the Afro Latin culture and everything, or like revolutionary figures, stuff like that. That's just how I do it because once they keep seeing like all these pictures, you know, like it's propaganda, and then it you know what I'm saying, it goes into these people's heads and it's like, okay, you know, like it's something positive and it's pretty cool.
So every Monday, do we just hashtag Melanin Monday?
Yeah.
So what I tend to do is three. So it's because you never want to leave anything out. Melanin Mondays, Melanin Monday, and melanin.
Okay.
So that gets everything. And the idea behind it is showing the beauty of black.
Oh.
Every image that we see that's being put out into the universe. I watched the video today, it hurt my heart. Two white girls, their mother got them two black dolls. And the girls, when they pulled the dolls out the bag, they literally cried and had a fit through the dolls and was like, yo, I don't want this. This is not a present for me. So the images, the information that we're getting is to hate black and also to think that black is ugly. And so what our duty is to push out the beauty of this thing that we got in our skin, to reverse it, and show that whatever y'all perceptions is about of black people is not really reality, because we some beautiful people, and the only reason that you hate us is because you hate yourselves.
Okay, this is a deep question. I ask it. What inspired you to come up? What inspired you to come up with the fuck 12 fuck the institution tea?
Okay.
Fuck 12, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the OG Mako situation, he had a song At the time, we was like, a lot of us was really like I think it came out like the top of the year too. So, and then, you know, he came out with a song, and I remember, I think Umi came to me with it. It was like, listen to this, Umi and Steve Peace. It was like, yo, listen to this. It was like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they the ones who was like screaming for 12 for the institution. They, you know, so that's what it was for me. And then I guess, you know, you tell them the meaning behind it. And
Well, 12 is a common phrase used now in the hip hop community referring to police. I know in Miami we say 9. A lot of people say pigs, but now the new catchphrase is 12. So it was just fuck 12. Like everything that's going on in our community right now, and the police and their interactions with our community, and the killing of murdering of our innocent men and young ladies, it's just fuck 12. I'm tired of it. And when I woke up one morning, I'm on my way to work. I'm on Instagram, and I see Danny standing tall with a fuck 12, fuck the institution shirt. I almost broke me. I tried to like that picture so bad. And I screenshot, I posted it everywhere. It was just like, that was that was how all of us was feeling at the time. Like, just fuck 12 and fuck the whole institution that's protecting 12.
Yeah.
And the background behind it, okay, so like a side note, so when 12 came from, once you see one police, 2 more coming.
Oh,
so that's the root of it. And then the reason why I actually had to make the hoodie in the first place was because there was a boat show in Broward County. And the brother-sister organization that we all are part of too is called the Dream Defenders. And we did an action out in Broward, and the police had locked up one of our members. And so they let him out, but it was a court date later on, like a month later, where they were congratulating the police for locking these brothers up.
Wow.
So he went, and he had stood up and protested and told the truth, like, yo, they locked me, why y'all giving them an award?
Yeah.
And they tackled him, and they locked him up. So I was in the office when I heard about it, and so I made the hoodie. I made one for myself and Sierra Taylor of the Dream Defenders. And basically what we did was we went to the police station in Broward, and for about 2 hours I stood in the window of the police. Everybody and every police that walked past, I was just like, hey. Yeah. But yeah, so it for me, it's like I don't hate the individuals that are police officers. I hate the institution that the police officers work under.
Yeah.
And so it's a statement to say like, yo, y'all got to switch it up, because the majority of the brothers and sisters who are police officers in our community are people of color. And a lot of them are Haitian descent. We got arrested in Broward the other day, and the brother literally locked us up because he didn't know his laws. And we had to school him on it. And so he called us like sovereign brothers that was trying to start trouble. I was like, bro, I'm just telling you, you ain't supposed to be locking me up.
Wow.
Bring out the whole unit. There's a sovereign leader.
So that's the root, yeah.
Okay.
Are those shirts still available?
Oh yeah, always, yeah, we got you.
What's the website you could
So like I said, I put everything off the website. The website is rootsmarketplace.org, but I put all of the old items on our Facebook page. So it's still connected to our website, so you can go in there and see everything that we offer, and you can still, it's the same process, but it's just not on the actual page.
Oh, okay.
And the page is Roots Collective.
Oh, okay, so I recently had a event at Barry University.
Yeah.
And how did that turn out? And what knowledge did the speaker share with everyone? That I took in.
Angela Davis.
Oh man.
The speaker was Angela Davis, by the way.
I'm reading every other word, my bad. But yeah, so.
It was powerful for me. I heard Dr. Davis for the first time my junior year in college at FAMU, and it was Black Girls Rock. And it was standing room only. Like, there was so many people in Lee Hall. So that I didn't get the real feeling of her because it was just so many people. But at Barry, it was like it was an intimate conversation. Like, the things she was saying, the things all of us have been like. If this was a basketball game, she's Michael Jordan of the revolution. So just to see her in person and have the chance to sit down, talk to her, touch her, like, it's just, it's
Yeah.
one of those moments where I remember my whole life.
Yeah, same here. I mean, cause my older brother did 8 years, and when he was locked up, it was Asada Shakur, Sister Soldier, Malcolm X, and Angela Davis. Like when he used to write me, he always used to tell me about these people and like how they're like changing them. Cause my brother used to be in the Bloods and all that, and he was living a fast life. And you know what I'm saying? So like seeing someone that had like such an impact on him and changed his life, I had to study up on her too. And just seeing her and being in her presence was like, I was shocked, you know, it was like, I mean, I was starstruck.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Zabo was there too, right when I took a picture with her. Like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I took a picture, I just like walked off. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And then like someone grabbed me, I forgot who it was. Like, I was just so caught up in the moment, someone grabbed me like, yo, you gotta say something to her. I'm like, yo, you're right, man. Like, I just gotta walk off. I went, you know, so then I just went back and then, you know, I talked to her, I thanked her for everything. You know, like she was looking in my eyes and all too, and then I was like, oh shit. And then, you know, it was just a real moment. I mean, you know, like Zabo said, you know, she's influential. Like she's up there with the Malcolms and the Hueys and the Stokeleys to me.
Yeah.
You know, so it was definitely a beautiful event.
Like whenever you have like icons such as Dr. Davis, like really affirming what you're doing, you know, then you're like, okay, I'm not only I'm on the path, but thank you for giving me what you do.
Yeah.
You know, especially being able to see a little legend.
What advice can you guys give someone who wants to be active in the community but doesn't know where to start?
That's like
Get up and go.
Yeah, that's like number one thing is
Just get up
just
and
do it.
go. I think all of us sitting here was all at that point where it was just like, damn, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Like all of us that was at that point, it was like, what? In Miami, we don't have that conscious community where,
Yeah. Everybody.
all right, I'm going in front of Apollo where they have the Marcus Garvey scriptures on the wall, and I'm gonna sit there until something. We don't have that.
Yeah.
So it was just once I met, I always knew Munch, and I met Danny and Umi we was feeding the homeless. Then I met Francois, I was like, damn, all of us feel the same way about our community. So it was just time to go. So you just can't talk all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling well about your community, what's going on, just go.
Yeah.
Just go. And man, I know all of us have close friends or people around you be like, what the hell are you doing? Shut up, bro. Let's get some money. Forget all that. Let's get some money, bro. But it's like, this is what I care about.
Yeah.
Everybody have different cares. This is what I care about. So you gotta surround yourself with people that care too.
Alright. Not finally, but one of the last questions.
The
Do you
last
have any up and coming events or ventures that you have in the works
And we gonna wrap it up because my brother he's trying to celebrate. So
Yeah, this is the last question.
All right, but yeah, so the most important 2 events that we have going on is Roots Radio. That's tomorrow. We're dropping the first segment that's focused on the Haitian Revolution of 1804.
Will it be dropped on the website or where can
We're gonna have it on the website. There's also a podcast that is gonna connect to. So it's a podcast. The podcast is Roots Radio, no space in between. And it's gonna launch at 18:04 o'clock, which is 6:04 p.m. And then also on January 16th, we have the second installment of the Black Marketplace, where we're gonna have close to 40 vendors, black vendors, come out, sell their goods and services over at the African American Research Library in Fort Lauderdale, right off Sis-Trump. And it'll also be a youth summit, so folks will be able to engage with the youth and really build a network within that community of Fort Lauderdale. And it's from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. On the 16th, which is Saturday.
Okay, so the radio tomorrow and the 16th, the marketplace.
Yep. And you can follow us on Roots Collective's Instagram, which is Roots_Collective. And you can find anything and everything we're doing from that channel.
Okay. Well, it was nice doing this interview with you guys. I'm so happy that you guys have a positive effect in the community and you're trying to get the youth to interact with you.
Okay, we look forward to more adventures, more events, more everything from you guys. We appreciate y'all in the community.
Untapped, baby.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Untapped. Let's do it.